past couple of days, a lot of communities across our beautiful country experienced the highest temperatures they have seen so far this calendar year. Spring, it looked like it had sprung officially. And meteorological spring has officially arrived, and so has the turbulent weather that comes along with that, especially across the Great Lakes and in towards Atlantic Canada. So basically, the eastern half of Canada will be impacted by this one storm. And in terms of the conditions ahead of the storm, Halifax, much of mainland Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland, dry, inactive, but that will change as we get into the evening and overnight. Southern Ontario, central Ontario, eastern Ontario, southern Quebec. Yeah, there's going to be not only rain, but freezing rain and ice pellets, which will prove significant enough to declare this as an ice storm when it's all said and done. And with ice storms, you tend to get the most damage. The higher impact of fallen tree limbs, power outages, after the freezing rain exits, and this is essentially what we're calling for. So most of the threat of active weather for Wednesday and Wednesday evening and Wednesday night will be southern Ontario, up to St. Lawrence, including Montreal and possibly Quebec City, and then it will continue to venture off towards Atlantic Canada. When it's all said and done, millions of Canadians will be impacted by this one storm. In fact, more Canadians will be impacted in one way or another than not. First, we'll talk about the snowfall, which obviously is a large swath, mostly north of major populated areas. But we're still talking about significant snowfall here, which is obviously going to be shovelable, with highest amounts Saguenay, up to St. Lawrence, up to Gaspé, and possibly western Newfoundland as well. Then we throw on the ice pellets. This is an idea of what to expect through Wednesday. So it has already moved in towards New Brunswick. It will continue to fill in and clear up towards Newfoundland. So conditions will improve west to east, but the winds are still going to be a big issue, which is obviously going to impact those that get freezing rain. Here's a look at the rainfall through Wednesday, fairly widespread. Localized flooding will definitely be quite possible. Then it ventures in towards Atlantic Canada, where Nova Scotia primarily will see rainfall, maybe a little bit of freezing rain. And the freezing rain is really, in my opinion, the biggest issue, because obviously, it's going to have an impact on travel, but also utilities such as power. Power outage is pretty much guaranteed. This is a look at where the freezing rain will fall through Wednesday and Wednesday evening, through the overnight and into the day on Thursday. It will begin to spread towards the east, but once again, New Brunswick will be hardest hit, and western Newfoundland will be hit as well. So it's now time to plan on the potential for prolonged power outages. Some areas, you might say storm. It was just some rain, such as Nova Scotia. You'll get some snow, though, as temperatures back off. Here's a look at the wind speeds, and of course, the precipitation type will take you through. Pick out your area. I'll try not to get in the way, and I'll play it through for you. So once again, green represents rainfall, freezing rain, ice pellets, snow. This is going to have an impact through Wednesday afternoon, evening, overnight. It will continue to impact Montreal and Quebec, but look at some of the wind speeds behind it in that corridor with the freezing rain. After the freezing rain ends, we're still looking at powerful winds. We get a break from active weather as we get into Thursday night and Friday, and that's when the next system moves in with gusty winds, primarily snow and rain. We'll talk about that when it draws near. Atlantic Canada, once again, you're quiet ahead of the storm. By the afternoon, it starts to work its way in through New Brunswick. Once we get through the overnight, it starts to fill in and across a lot of areas. Prolonged freezing rain and ice pellets expected, along with snow. This is obviously going to be a big story as we get through Wednesday and Thursday. By Friday, a bit of a break, a lull, if you will, from active weather. Out west, once again, I'll give you a peek at what to expect. Obviously, it's BC and in towards Alberta that gets into the action. Mostly flurries across the Alberta foothills, snow through the interior. This is going to continue to be the case as we get through Wednesday evening. Wednesday night into Thursday, snowfall moves in through southern Alberta, continues to track through Saskatchewan and venture off towards the east. Once the snow clears, it's really the story about the cold as it remains in place, as seasonably cool conditions are expected across Western Canada as well, through not only the rest of this traditional work week, but into the weekend as well. I said it off the top, spring did spring, or sprung, however you want to put it, but winter's back. Mother Nature sometimes throws curveballs. Prepare for all the active weather we're expecting.